Hey, what's up, everyone? This is another live stream by me. I'm doing comic book day today. Yesterday I did new release day. Today's comic book day, and this is the first time I've done this. If you've never seen my new release videos, then this is something new for you. Basically, I am going to talk about comic books for a while. I know that there's a lot of people on BookTube that aren't that interested in comics, but there are people that are interested, and so I'm going to be doing this, maybe try to do this once a week, but we'll see. The format of this show will be me going over the comics that I've read recently, looking at the comics that come out today, and then also looking at any lists of any things that are going on, like any top selling list type things. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. It's going to be a long video, so maybe when you get home from work, you can check this out, put it in the background, throw it on the side or whatever. Or if you're here live watching, you can watch it live. That's great too. But let's go ahead and start talking about comic books right away with the things that I've read in the last week or two. I have been making the Graphic Minute videos, but I kind of stopped doing that. I wasn't getting as many views as I liked, and it was kind of hard to keep up. So I'm going to do it this way. First, let's talk about this right here. I read Volume 6 of Sandman by Neil Gaiman, Fables and Reflections. This is my favorite Sandman so far, of all of them that I've read. And what it is it has 9 individual stories that are basically short stories of historical figures in the past. Oh, we can't show that page. Historical figures in the past, and Sandman and Neil Gaiman have this like very interesting take on all these different stories. So we have things from Marco Polo to Caesar, Augustus, to Robespierre. It's just an amazing collection of short stories that are in illustration form, and it is fantastic. If you have never tried Sandman, I believe that this is a great place to try Sandman and even try Neil Gaiman's stuff, because it is fantastic. You'll just miss a little bit of the information when it comes to his family that you would have learned in the previous volumes, but I think this by itself is amazing, and I highly recommend it. It's Volume 6 of Sandman, Fables and Reflections. Alright, moving on to the single edition comics I read. Image puts out these Image First comics, and they're only $1. So if you go to your comic book store and you want to try an Image First series, give them a try. This is Mind the Gap by, I'm just going to say the last names because it's on the front. Macan, Esquizio, and Obak. This is a mystery of what happened to this girl. She got attacked, and now she is in a coma, and her coma is this really weird world where she can interact with her own consciousness. And it's a very interesting premise because we're trying to figure out what happened to her. So we have all these family members, people that have some relation to her, her boyfriend, ex-boyfriends, stuff like that. She works in the theater, and it's a very interesting mystery, and I'll probably be buying more issues or volumes of that because I really enjoyed the first one here. I think I gave it a 4 if I remember right. Let's talk about Wonder Woman. This is the rebirth issue of Wonder Woman. This is the one-shot. I'm having issues with Wonder Woman. This is by Rucka. So if you guys have read Lazarus, Rucka did Lazarus too. Clark and Sharp also did some of the art. Basically, with the rebirth issues, they're catching everyone up to the pre-52 world, and mixing it with whatever happened before the pre-52. And so now we have Diana, Wonder Woman, having this identity crisis of where she came from. And I'm not 100% sold on it yet. Wonder Woman really hasn't been one that interests me all that much anyways, just because, like Superman, she's very hard to beat, and I like very human superheroes, like Batman and Green Arrow, people like that. So I'm having a little bit of an issue with Wonder Woman. I gave the Rebirth issue a 2. I didn't really care for it all that much, but this first issue that came out, for one, the art was stellar. This is one of my favorite pages. And the story is starting. There's a side story of her boyfriend in the army looking for her, and she's out trying to find information about her origins, her past. And it's interesting, but I don't know if it's interesting enough for me to really subscribe to it. It's beautiful art, though. And what they're doing, Rucka is telling a story where he goes back in time one issue and then forwards in time another issue and back and forward. So it has like 2 parallel time plots going on that will reveal information from both of them. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know if I'm going to continue with that though. Green Lantern. This is the Rebirth issue. Basically, we have 2 Green Lanterns now, Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz. We basically just get an introduction to the characters in this Rebirth issue. What's cool about this is that Jessica Cruz, the girl that's on the front cover here, she is an introvert. She's been in her house for the past 4 years, has not gone out of her house at all, and she becomes a Green Lantern. Now she has to go out into the world and try to battle evil as a very introvert, very anxiety-ridden individual. This is the first issue. I find that story to be amazing. And it's all about the Red Lantern individuals from another planet coming down and trying to get people really upset. Here's some of the bad guys. Art is spectacular. And they're making individuals in the world get really upset and rage. This is the second issue. Amazing cover. Whoops, I didn't mean to take that out. Oh well. In this second issue, we have Jessica fighting her sister, actually, who became raged. And it's kind of a commentary on the current culture in our country, in our world, where anger and rage is so prevalent even with normal individuals. And I like that storyline. I like that kind of subtle story there. I like Green Lanterns. I want more character development from Baz. Jessica's getting a lot of character development, and she's definitely the best part. But I want to know more about Baz, the other Green Lantern, and I want them to be fighting with these antagonists. Okay, Green Arrow. This is the second issue of Green Arrow. I really like Green Arrow. I think he's fantastic. This is by Percy and Schmidt. Oh, I forgot to mention Green Lanterns is by Humphreys and Roca and Leistein and Blonde. Green Arrow is by Percy and Schmidt. I really like this. I think the art is really cool. It has this very angularly it's a tough word to say, art to it. And this is Black Canary. Black Canary over here, and she's talking to somebody. Basically, Oliver has lost all his money, and he has to kind of come back from people that betrayed him. And I just really like the art. It's very unique. And it's just a good story so far. And I like Oliver as a character. He's this very progressive, liberal individual. So he thinks about things really differently than a lot of other superheroes. And I think that people on BookTube would like the Green Arrow, the new run, just because of that. and I think it's just going to get better and better. Okay, here is Captain America, issue number 2. Steve Rogers, Captain America. And this is by Nick Spencer and Jesus Saez. And this has been on the internet a lot, especially the first issue. And amazing art. I really like the art. Has great tones. And basically, okay, spoilers. Here, let me make something real quick. I am making a spoiler tag real quick to put on the screen. There we go. So now I go like that. Okay. Alright, spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled by Captain America, please wait until the spoilers tag is off the screen. Alright, so basically Captain America is now controlled by Red Skull. He is in Hydra now, Captain America, and they do that by using this this cube, which turns into this little girl. See Red Skull holding the cube right here. And it's very interesting because now we have Captain America being against pretty much everyone. And it's just a really interesting take on Captain America, and I don't know how far they're going to take it. The first is fantastic, but the second issue here is it gives you all the background of Captain America and how it came to be that he's in Hydra now. Okay, let's get the spoilers off. Okay, here we go. On to Justice League Rebirth. This is a Rebirth issue of Justice League. I did not care for this that much at all. I thought the art was rather amateurish. I don't know. It's not very detailed lines, but there's a lot of colors, which is kind of cool. It's mostly about them fighting this giant squid monster, and then they don't really know if they can trust this new Superman or not. I don't know. I might check out the actual #1 of Rebirth, but that Rebirth issue, the actual #1 of Justice League, I might check out. But this Rebirth issue by Hitch and Henriques, it's just okay. It's not. Yeah. Okay, one of the best Rebirth comics from DC is definitely Detective Comics. This is number 934. This is by Tanyan Forth and Barrows and Ferreira and Lucas. I really like this a lot. It's basically Batman with a bunch of other people, and it creates kind of like this X-Men dynamic between the people of Gotham City, and they're fighting these unknown mystery people. And I think the art is spectacular. You just saw something that I just put up just now. I think this art is beautiful. And this is definitely the standout Batman story so far. So we have Robin, we have Clayface, Batwoman, 2 other female characters that I don't know their names of right at the moment. I can't think of them. We have this girl up here with the purple, and then this girl here with the ninja outfit. Yeah, Cassandra Cain. Here, it's this side over here. Cassandra Cain, orphan, I guess her name is. And she doesn't talk hardly at all, and it's just a cool dynamic. And then we have the other girl. I want to tell you the names of these other people too. I can't. Well, regardless, art is fantastic. The story is fantastic, and it's really good. 935 of Batman Detective Comics continues the story, and it's so good. Like, the character development in this issue here is fantastic. Robin actually wants to go to school. He doesn't know how to talk to Batman about it, and I find that very interesting. It's just a very well done comic, and so I gave both of those 4s. Detective Comics starts with 934. It's 935. Okay, this is Batman. This is the second issue of the Rebirth volume of Batman. Batman has a couple superheroes in Gotham City. They're called Gotham Girl. I don't know about this. I think the art by Finch is cool, but the writing by Tom King is very so-so. I don't know. I'll probably give this Batman probably one more issue until I find out if I'm going to drop it or not. And then the last one here, thank you for being patient as I go through these. We have Superman. This is the second issue of Superman. And this very cool cover. It's awesome. And this is by Thomasai and Gleason and Gray. And what I love about this artwork is the colors, like the blue and the red. It's just so pretty. And Jonathan, Superman's son, plays a huge role in this, and it's so good. At first I wasn't a believer of this, but now I really like it a lot. The more I think about it, the more I like it. But we don't really know about Jonathan's abilities because he's half human, half Kryptonian. So we're not really sure if he can get hurt as much. And in this, he did get hurt, like he was bleeding or something. And so it's very interesting to me. Okay, let's move on from the stuff that I've read to the stuff that's come out. Alright, here we go. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. Okay, here we go. This is what has come out today. July 13th. All comic books come out on the 13th, if you guys didn't know that. I'm going to go through the ones that I think are interesting. I probably will miss a bunch. And I'll mention the ones I'll probably end up getting, and you might be able to see on next week's show. So we have Conan the Slayer, number 1. I've heard that this is pretty good. It's very... The art is fantastic, and I've heard that it's pretty brutal. This is by Cullen Bunn, writer, and the artist is Sergio Davila. I think this looks cool. There's not a lot of fantasy-inspired comics, so it's nice to see some more coming out. All right, these are all from Dark Horse. We have Harrow Country, House of Penance. Prometheus. I am very curious about this because, you know, I like the Prometheus movie and the aliens backstory and everything. This is writer Dan Abnett, Andrea Muti, the artist. See the description. The engineer's ship finally makes planetfall, and the colonial marine stowaways find themselves on a world even more deadly than the one they left behind. The life and death story cycle becomes a sequel to Fire and Stone as the characters end up on level 223, the planet of Prometheus. I might catch up on this just because I'm interested in it. And of course that new movie is going to come out I think next year or later this year. So yeah. I'm at Midtown Comics, by the way, looking at these. Midtown Comics is in New York, but they have a great website. Alright. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 10, Volume 5. Once again, Buffy is going strong. Okay, DC, Action Comics. I'm actually going to get the Action Comics that I've missed the last couple of weeks because I've heard that this is just as good as Detective Comics. It's like the standout Superman story. So right now, today is 9:59. So the first one, the first Rebirth issue was 9:57. So very cool. A lot of stuff happening in these. Very cool. And then there's a variant cover. Batman variant cover. Here we go. Detective Comics Volume 2. This is 936. This is a new one. I'll probably get this one today too. So I'm getting the Action Comics, catching up on that, and I'm getting this here, Detective Comics number 936. We have Clayface doing something crazy on here. Very cool. Rise of the Batmen, Chapter 3. Batman is MIA, and it's time for Batwoman to take the reins. But can she control a strike force that's barely worked together, including unstable wild card Clayface? Very cool. Once again, writer James Tynion IV and artist Eddie Barros and Eber Faria. Excited about that. I have not read any of The Flash. So the new number 2 of Flash comes out. The Flash. This is chapter 2 of Lightning Strikes Twice. The Flash trains Nova Speeder August Hart to help protect the people of Central City from the Black Hole, a new breed of rogue with a deadly agenda for the fastest man alive. Writer Joshua Williamson, artist Carmine Di Giandomenico. Let's see. These are variant covers for Green Lantern and Green Arrow. Legend of Wonder Woman. New issue. The new Superman comes out. I think this is a Chinese Superman. It's kind of huge. They're doing a lot of diversity things in both DC and Marvel, and it's just fantastic. I love it. New Superman number 1, cover A, regular cover. Writer Jean Luwen Yang, artist Victor Bogdanovich. It's cool that we have probably a Chinese guy and a Russian guy working together. Made in China, Chapter 1. An impulsive act of heroism thrusts an arrogant young man into the limelight of Shanghai as China begins to form its own Justice League of powerful heroes. Rising from the ashes of the final days of Superman, award-winning writer Jean Luwen Yang and the on the rise art star Victor Bogdanovich introduce readers to Kong Qinyang, the new Superman. When the world needed a new hero, China found him. Very cool. I don't know. I might get that. I'm not sure. There's so many things, and it gets so expensive after a while, you know. The new Nightwing, the Rebirth issue, the one shot comes out. This is by Tim Seeley and Yannick Paquette. He's been Robin, Batman, a spy, a ghost. Now Dick Grayson returns to Gotham City to reclaim the life that was taken from him. But when a new evil threatens those he loves most, Nightwing faces being torn away from home once again in order to destroy the dark force once and for all. Very cool. I don't know. I'll have to check that out at the comic book store. We got Super Scooby-Doo, a Titans Rebirth variant, Wonder Woman. Here's the new Wonder Woman. This is number 2 by Greg Rucka, artist Nicola Scott. Wonder Woman Year 1, Chapter 1. Running parallel to Greg Rucka and Liam Sharp's The Lies, Rucka and artist Nicola Scott weave the definitive and shocking tale of Diana's first year as Earth's protector. So once again, it's like a parallel timeline stories with this Wonder Woman. So much awesome stuff coming out from DC with this Rebirth stuff. Suicide Squad, trade paperback. This is the trade paperback of Wonder Woman by Greg Rucka. This is the older one. Collects Wonder Woman 195 to 205. So that's the older one. Alright, moving on. Dynamite Entertainment. Don't really know much about them. Lone Ranger. $6 Million Man. Vampirella. IDW. Back to the Future. Dungeons and Dragons. I've heard the Dungeons and Dragons stuff is pretty cool. A lot of fun. It's like a Baldur's Gate people. Yeah, the Baldur's Gate heroes struggle against the forces of dread as the darkness of Ravenloft takes hold of their hearts and minds. So Ravenloft is their enemies, which is cool. So they're mixing different worlds into one, basically. That's cool. If I had the money, I would try those, but comic books are so expensive. Like, I didn't even know. Compared to books are cheap. Comic books are expensive. I'm glad I stopped buying books for a while to buy comics, but I'm actually spending more money. X-Files Volume 3, 4th issue's out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, trade paperbacks, Volume 2. Image, Birthright. I know there's a lot of Image people that love Image. Birthright, number 17. This is actually a fantasy story from Image. I need to check that out sometime. I have to start at the beginning. Descender. I'll be getting this today. I have been enjoying buying the single issues of Descender because the cover art is awesome. Like, look at this. Like, every issue has this amazing character art. This is number 13. Singularities continues as the mysteries of Tesla's past are finally revealed. Yes. Awesome. Writer Jeff Lemire, artist Dustin Le Guin. So far, oops, I did not mean to go all the way back. I forgot. Okay, Horizon. This is one I'm going to try today as well. This is writer Brandon Thomas, artist Juan Gideon, Frank Martin. I'm just going to read the description. Jay Malin thought she'd fought her last war until she learned her planet was targeted for occupation by a desperate world called Earth. The people of Earth will be told that her arrival on their planet means invasion. These are all lies. This is retaliation. So this is a new sci-fi story from Image, and I want to jump in and see right away if it's going to be any good. Image First comes out for Monstrous issue 1, which is very cool. I might, if they have this today, I will get this, as it's really cheap for a huge issue of Image First. This is by Marjorie Liu, artist Sonia Takada. Caitlin loves this series, and I'm either going to get this or I'm actually going to get the trade paperback of it because it comes out today as well. Steampunk meets Kaiju in its original fantasy epic for mature readers as young Micah risks everything to control her psychic link with a monster of tremendous power, placing her in the center of a devastating war between human and otherworldly forces. Awesome. Triple-sized first issue, 66 pages. That's so cool. I kind of want to get the individual issues of Monsters because each cover is phenomenal. Image First comes out with the first issue of Paper Girls, so that's going to be $1 at your stores. I'm upset I didn't get that one instead of the one I paid $3 for because I did not like Paper Girls. Mirror, number 5. Number 50 of Morning Glories. That is definitely a series I want to try. Nick Spencer's a writer. Violent, number 5. Wicked and Divine, number 21 comes out. I know some people buy this. Writer Kieron Gillian, artist Jamie McKelvey. This is part 4 of Rising Action. I do think that the individual covers of Wicked and Divine are very cool. Check out this variant cover. That is creepy. Okay, Marvel. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 7 comes out. I don't have the money to buy a ton of Marvel comics as well, so I'm mostly trying DC and Image. I do have Marvel Unlimited. I am reading the Civil War II story, and I'm reading, of course, that Steve Rogers Captain America. Marvel's at this issue, or at this point right now, where they're doing the Civil War II stuff. In the fall, they're going to be releasing like new #1s of a lot of their different stories, and it's going to be an exciting time for comic books because we have the rebirth of DC, and we have the Marvel Now stuff. A bunch of people are getting into comic books because it's a great jumping point into comics because of everything starting over again. Yes, you'll miss a lot of the history, but it's still fine. Comics is one of those things where you just jump in. Civil War II. So I'm definitely getting the third issue of Civil War II. Supposedly some amazing thing supposed to happen. Yeah. So that sounds like fun. Civil War II, Amazing Spider-Man #2. See, I don't have, like, there's so many individual comics connecting into Civil War II that I just can't read them all. It's just way too much money. You'd have to be spending hundreds of, like, $200, $300 a week on comics. Or not a week, a month on comics. That's just ridiculous. Anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 4, #10 comes out. Gwenpool. Marvel Universe, Guardians of the Galaxy, #10. New Avengers, Volume 4, #13. I don't have... I would love to try some of these, but they're so high in their runs. So that's why when Marvel Now comes out, I'm going to be so excited about it, because I might be able to try like the new Avengers, or the new Spider-Man, and like jump on right when it starts, which is really cool. Independent comics here, we have Revisionist, Strayer. Let's see if anything here. Titans 3, Sabrina, Aspen Universe, #1. What is this? The most groundbreaking event in Aspen's comics history starts now. This looks cool. I never even heard of Aspen Comics, to be honest. Adventure Time, Kong of Skull, Lumberjanes, Gotham Academy #2 comes out. Alright, let's see. Let's move down. Bunch of Doctor Who comes out. Bloodshot. Bloodshot's pretty big with Valiant. Valiant's huge, getting huge. I want to read more Valiant stuff. Grim Fairy Tales. Alright, so that is basically the new releases. And then let's check out... Will trade paperback give me the books? No. Anyways, let's move on to this. June 2016 comic book sales. Since this is the first week I'm doing this, let's look at some of the most popular stuff from June. This is on comichron.com. If you didn't know, Diamond puts out all of the comics, Diamond Comic Distributors, and so they can actually estimate how many issues of comics that they sell, which is amazing to me. If all books had the same distributor, we could actually know how many books are being sold of each book. That'd be cool, but probably would not be good for the publishing industry. Anyways, the issues, single issues, comics here. We have Civil War II, the #1 selling thing, issue #1. Estimated sales 381,000. It's awesome. Batman issue #1, 280,000. Batman Rebirth, almost 200,000. That's awesome. Star Wars #4. Han Solo. Let's see if I can't move this over some. There we go. Alright, now you guys can see it a little bit better. So on the right there is the estimated sales of each one. Civil War 2, Issue 2, Dark Knight 3, Master Race, Dark Knight Returns, The Last Crusade. Like, the number of comics that are sold astounds me. When you look at the amount of books that are being sold and compared to comics, comics just blows it out of the water. Superman Rebirth, Wonder Woman, Superman #1, Flash, Green Lanterns, Rebirth, Detective Comics, a lot of DC Rebirth stuff. Number 20 issue of Star Wars, more DC Rebirth things, Marvel, Star Wars Awakens adaptation, which I've heard is exactly the movie in graphic novel form, so why would you even get the graphic novel? Darth Vader, Deadpool, Aquaman, Action Comics, Marvel, Black Panther. I want to try Black Panther because it's being written by that really famous African writer, Tacoates, Tacoates. Yeah. And then a lot of the last issues of the previous DC generation, Justice League, stuff like that. Captain America, Steve Rogers #2, Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, so Image, highest thing is The Walking Dead. Walking Dead for Image is huge. Basically created Image. All the other things from Image is because of The Walking Dead, basically. Bunch of other things here. So you can just check it out as I scroll down. Power Rangers is pretty big from Boom. Yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, number 75 from Boom. Jupiter's Legacy, Volume 5, or Volume 2. You need to check that out. I don't know what that is. I Hate Fairyland from Image. And then it goes on. Descender only is... See, look this. Descender number 12 sold about 20,000 issues. Where these up here are selling in hundreds of issues. But it's always happens when they release new stuff. So... Alright, let's look at the trade paperbacks. I know a lot of people just buy trades. Saga, Volume 6. Estimated sales, 25,000. Remember, this is from June. Dark Knight, A True Story of Batman, 11,000. Sex Criminals. Image does a lot better with their trades than they do with their singles. Anyway, Sex Criminals, Volume 3 came out last month. Preacher Book 1 came out last month. That's selling quite a bit. The Preacher graphic novels because of the new TV show. Saga Volume 1 is still selling really well. Buffy High School Years Freaks and Geeks. I have not seen that yet. So yeah, these are the trades that came out last month and the ones that sold the most. I Hate Fairyland coloring book. Jupiter's Circle Volume 2. Check out Jupiter's. I want to just I just want to check what Jupiter's Circle is about. Jupiter's Circle Volume 1 by Mark Miller. From Image. In mid-century, a team of young superheroes faces epic threats in public while battling personal demons behind closed doors. Huh. Well, let's put this on my maybe library list. Alright, so that's it for comics for this week. Thanks for watching if you watched. What's the website? Let's see. The comic book sales figures is from Comicron, the Comics Chroniclers. So it's COMICS HRON.com. And the other thing I was using was MidtownComics.com. But yeah, Comicron. Such a odd Comics Chronicles. Comicron. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. That's the week in comics. I'm definitely getting the new issue of Descender. Definitely getting the new Civil War 2. Gonna catch up with my Action Comics. Gonna grab that new Detective Comics. And other than that, I might give another thing. Oh, that Horizon. I'm gonna try that. Other than that, I'm not sure what else I'm gonna give a try. I can't spend too much money. Alright, there we go. That's the first week. Thanks for watching, guys. If you watched the repeat of this or the recorded video, thank you. And let me know what you think.